A frigid 34 degrees and windy at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore. And about 3.5 hours ago, Ben Roethlisberger arrived at the stadium with a walking boot on his right foot. And now live with a special shoe, there is Roethlisberger. Warming up for tonight's game, and all night long, Ray Lewis will have Ben in his sights as the Ravens take on the Steelers on Sunday Night Football. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Andrea Kramer, welcome to Baltimore for what has become a bone-rattling rivalry. Each team with a mark of 8-3, first place in the AFC North is at stake. It's the second meeting between these two teams this season on October 3rd in Pittsburgh. Baltimore won it at the end, 17-14. Now, the Ravens are very tough to beat here. They're 5-0 in this stadium this season, and they won their last 8 in a row over the last 2 seasons. And a win tonight puts them in great shape in the division and in the conference. Pittsburgh, with Roethlisberger suspended for that first game, they were 3-1 while Ben was sidelined. They are 5-2 since Ben has come back, and Mike Tomlin summed it up succinctly last night when he said both teams are looking for that signature win. Speaking of signature, Chris, there's always something with Ben Roethlisberger physically. Last year he missed this game with a concussion. Now he has re-injured or re-aggravated an old broken foot, the 5th metatarsal bone. The question about Ben is, when you watch him tonight, what will you be looking for and what do you expect?
Well, we don't know, because so much of Ben Roethlisberger's game is his mobility, his ability to escape the pocket, buy a little extra time, make those big throws down the field. I don't think I've ever seen him play where he just sort of sits in the pocket, reads the defenses, and makes throws. So I guess we're going to find out together.
Well, of course, Pittsburgh better served when Ben plays against Baltimore. With the Ravens now, here's a team, 8-3. People talk about maybe the Patriots are the best in the conference, or the Jets are the best, the Steelers are the best. The Ravens seem to be just below the radar. What will take them from here to here?
Well, if they're going to get to where they want to go, which is a world championship, we know about their defense, we know about their running game. Their passing game had to improve. They went out and got better wide receivers in the offseason. And Joe Flacco, after a pretty slow start, has been playing as well as any quarterback in the NFL over the last 5 or 6 weeks. Tonight, he will get a major test, though, with this Pittsburgh Steelers
I know
defense.
Another thing. Players on both sides are making reservations for the hot tub. Tomorrow, defense, defense, defense. Ed Reed, 50 career interceptions in that Baltimore secondary. James Harrison, 10 sacks this season. Pittsburgh and Baltimore, Sunday Night Football. Pittsburgh and Baltimore, two cities separated by about a 5-hour drive. Two great defenses since 2001 and 2 and fewest points allowed. 22 Pro Bowlers will be on the field in tonight's game, including 3 Defensive Players of the Year, Reed and Lewis, and Harrison on the Pittsburgh side. And Ben Roethlisberger 6-2 when he starts against Baltimore. The Ravens are 5-0 in games that Ben has not started in his 7-year career. So there is Roethlisberger. All eyes will be on him, but Pittsburgh won the toss and elected to defer. And with Ben, he'll await his turn because the Baltimore offense is going to get the ball. And there is Roethlisberger with a specially fitted shoe. And kicking off will be Sean Sweezum, who took over 3 weeks ago when they let Jeff Reed go. Reed had been there for a long time. And Sweezum was one of the big heroes last week with 4 field goals of 40 or more yards. David Reed, a rookie, is going to run back the opening kickoff. And John Harbaugh thinks that Reed can be the answer all the way down the stretch here. Drafted in the 5th round out of Utah, he will get the ball first tonight as he runs up and collects it at the 15-yard line and cuts across the field and gets around the corner, but a flag is thrown, and another flag comes in at the end. So he brings it back out for the moment to the 36-yard line.
Holding, receiving team number 11. 10-yard penalty, first down.
So Terry McAuley with the initial call, and let's take a look at the Baltimore starters tonight.
Joe Flacco, University of Delaware.
Ray Rice, Rutgers University. Anquan Bolden, Florida State University.
Derek Mason, Mumford High.
TJ Hushmanzada, Oregon State.
Todd Heap, Arizona State.
Michael Orr, North Memphis, Tennessee.
Ben Grubbs, Auburn University.
Matt Burke, Harvard.
Chris Chester, the University of Oklahoma.
Marshall Yonda, Iowa.
Missing tonight is LeRon McClain, their fullback, such an integral part of the offense. They go 3 wide on first down. Flacco goes right to the air, and the pass is incomplete, and you can see Heat pulling up, reaching for his hamstring as he went down the field over the middle, and he's going to come out after the first play.
Well, as we well know, it is cold down there, and this is not good news whatsoever. Got Houshmandzadeh on the outside, but here's Todd Heap, and watch him. This guy has been playing some of his best football of his career. Such a big part of this offense, and he went immediately to the sideline.
So he goes to the bench. He had a 65-yard reception for a touchdown last week against Tampa Bay here on 2nd and 10. Flacco checking off and rolling and then throwing, and that's incomplete. Intended for Rice. Joe Flacco started his college career at Pittsburgh and then left there and went to Delaware. Last 8 games at home, just 1 interception, and that came last week when Aqib Talib of Tampa Bay wound up with an interception that he collected between his ankles. He has been phenomenal since the 2nd week of the season. 8 interceptions this season for Flacco, 1 of them on opening day, and then 4 more in the 2nd game of the year, so only 3 over the past 9 games. 3rd down and 10 out of the shotgun. And finally the pocket breaks down, and down he goes. Ziggy Hood taking the spot normally occupied by Aaron Smith, who's been hurt for a good part of the season. Ziggy Hood gets the sack, and it's a quick 3 and out.
Well, we call this the amoeba defense. Everybody sort of up and walking around, but watch the protection. It's good. They brought 2 guys out of the secondary, had plenty of time, and just a late sack, a coverage sack by Ziggy Hood.
Sam Cook, who's having a very good season, will punt out of his own end zone, and Antonio Brown, a rookie from Central Michigan, will run it back. Brown is standing right now at the 50-yard line, and he collects it in his own 49. And a flag is thrown immediately as Brown gets back to the Baltimore 43. Terry McCauley, who has refereed 2 Super Bowls, will give us the call.
During the kick, holding, receiving team number 26. 10-yard penalty, first down.
That's on Will Allen. So all eyes right now on Roethlisberger and his mobility, and also will he take a lot more snaps out of the shotgun tonight? And how effective can he be? And how mobile can he be? And how durable can he be? Starting from his own 38-yard line. Running back is Richard Mendenhall. And there's a short shotgun formation for Roethlisberger, who's 4 yards back, and he hands the ball off to Mendenhall up to the 40-yard line. And Ben was telling us last night, we're going to do something that's a little surprising at the beginning of the game, and there it was. It's like a mini shotgun formation.
Yeah, it's what the colleges call the pistol formation, where they have the quarterback about 3 yards off the line of scrimmage and the tailback in behind. They just ran their power O play that they run a million times over, so the offense didn't change, just the formation.
Now you have 5 receivers and a more conventional shotgun setup. 2nd down and 8. 4-man rush, and the pass is behind the intended target, Heath Miller. Let's take a look at the Pittsburgh offense.
Ben Roethlisberger, Miami University.
Richard Mendenhall, Illinois.
David Johnson, Arkansas State.
Hines Ward, Georgia.
Mike Wiley, O'Carroll Walker High School.
Heath Miller, Virginia.
Jonathan Scott, Texas.
Chris Kimoyato, Utah.
Marquise Pouncey, Florida.
Ramon Foster, Tennessee.
Flozo Adams, Michigan State.
A lot of mixing and matching through the season along that offensive front. Isaac Redman is the 3rd down back. He flanks Roethlisberger here on 3rd down and 8. Only a 3-man rush. Ben with that pump fake, and then he dumps it off to Redmond, and Redmond's going to run for a first down before he gets taken down out of bounds by Nakamura and Tavares Gooden. And now Redmond comes up gimpy.
Ben Roethlisberger must have the biggest hand in captivity. I cannot believe he held on to this ball after this pump fake. Look at, I mean, it is cold down there, and it completely shifted the defense from one side of the field to the other. Comes back to Redmond for a big first down. You don't need a good ankle if you can pump fake like this.
So far, so good. And again, the short shotgun or pistol here. First down at the 46-yard line. Behind him is Mendenhall. And Ben protected well. And that pass is incomplete. Intended for Miller. Second down. And let's take a look at the Baltimore defense.
Paul Pingata, Oregon.
Kelly Gregg, Oklahoma.
Corey Redding, University of Texas.
Jarrett Johnson, Alabama.
Ray Lewis, University of Miami.
Jamel McClain, Syracuse University.
Terrell Suggs, Duke and Downey University.
Chris Carr, Boise State.
DeJuan Landry,
Georgia Tech.
Ed Reed, the U.
Josh Wilson, University of the Dirty Turk.
Suggs saluting his parents, Duke and Downey. Terrell went to Arizona State. Second down and 10. And that's a 2 or 3 yard pickup from Mendenhall, who then gets shoved back. One thing about these two teams, Chris, obviously through the years, and especially that 2008 AFC Championship game, it's as physical as it gets.
Yeah, and really, they're going to attack tonight. I mean, we've already seen Ben Roethlisberger. He doesn't miss as badly as we've seen him miss on 2 throws already tonight. I'm sure he's trying to get it figured out just how to push off of that foot, but very uncharacteristic throws on a couple of the first ones that he's had.
Now you have Miller lined up in the backfield on 3rd down and 8 because Redmond went off, so they have to move the tight end into the backfield to stay in to block. And Roethlisberger will go down at his own 46-yard line. Haloti Ngata. Ngata gets the sack, and there is Ben hunched over.
Haloti Ngata, if there's a better defensive lineman in the game, I don't know who he is. Sack number 6 on the season, a career high for him, and he is established early on. Oh, look at the bloody nose for Ben.
So at first you think it's the foot, then you realize it's the bloody nose that he suffered.
And that nose is crooked.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, look at his nose.
So Roethlisberger goes to the sideline. The backup quarterback is Byron Leftwich. Daniel Sepulveda comes in to punt. Lardarius Webb is back at his own 5-yard line and is going to let it bounce at the 1 and bound through the end zone. And Baltimore will have it for the second time tonight at the 20 as they work on Ben. Baltimore Inner Harbor on this very cold night. Meanwhile, they're working on Roethlisberger, his uniform bloodied, the bloodied nose and maybe a broken nose, and they work on him as Baltimore has it at the 20. Willis McGahee is the running back. Here, McGahee gets stuffed in the backfield by Troy Polamalu, the safety who comes in on the run blitz and knocks him down for a 4-yard loss. And let's go back to the Roethlisberger hit.
Well, I can hear him screaming all the way from Pittsburgh here. All the fines, all the penalties on Steelers players. Here's a direct blow to the helmet of Ben Roethlisberger. Looks like it may have, at the very least, changed the shape of his nose. No penalty, no foul.
Hit him with the right hand first and then the left hand. 2nd and 14, and there's a draw to the 22 as Ray Rice comes in, and a penalty. And that's going to go against Baltimore.
Well, from somebody who's had a
Holding,
few broken noses.
Offense number 74. Penalties decline. 3rd down.
That's the left tackle, Michael Orr.
I can tell you it's no fun, but obviously you can play with it, but I probably broke my nose 2 or 3 times at least. I never had it go sideways like that. That's pretty nasty.
So between the nose and the foot, and we'll have to see about Ben and whether he comes back into the game again. Byron Leftwich is the number 2 quarterback. It's 3rd down and 9 now from the 21-yard line, and it's floated and then juggled about 5 times and dropped by Ed Dixon, a rookie tight end out of Oregon. So Dixon, who might see more action tonight, especially since he had to come out after that first game, should have had it, juggled it, and then it fell to the turf.
What a great call, though. They ended up with Brett Kiesel, the injured defensive end who's just returning from a hamstring, on a tight end down the field, and the young tight end just blew a huge opportunity.
Sam Cook to punt. Antonio Brown back at his own 35-yard line. And it's a short snap, but a whistle before the snap.
False start. Offense number 51. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, wow.
I think that guy knows a little bit about special teams right there, John Harbaugh.
But it was 4th and 14 here.
Right there. Just a little movement before the snap from Brendan Ayanbadejo, one of their special team stars, who just blew a huge opportunity.
Oh, wow. On 4th and it's 4th and 14 now. It was 4th down and 9. And Cook's kick is a low line drive. It bounces at the 45, picked up at the 43 by Brown. And Brown will set Pittsburgh up with good field position, but the question is, who's going to come in? And for the moment, Ben puts the helmet on. He's ready to go again when we come back. So Roethlisberger comes back. It was Nada who came in and hit him and created what the Steelers are saying is not a broken nose, simply a bloodied nose. Well, semantics. The ball is at the 45-yard line. And Mendenhall to the 41-yard line. Richard Mendenhall, 3rd year. Number 1 pick out of Illinois in 08. And as a rookie in a Pittsburgh-Baltimore game in Pittsburgh early in the season, he was tackled by Ray Lewis and sustained a fractured shoulder and missed the rest of his rookie season, then took over as the starter the following year for Willie Parker. 2nd down and 6. Now the pistol again for Roethlisberger, standing 4 yards back of center, with Mendenhall behind him, and Ben's going to launch one for the end zone, and too far for Mike Wallace. Tough to overthrow Mike, but of course Mike was running out of room. He'd beaten Ladarius Webb in the end zone. 3rd down and 6.
Well, of course, Roethlisberger did not play in the first matchup, and Mike Wallace had several opportunities for big plays, but Charlie Batch couldn't get him the ball. That time Roethlisberger overthrew him, which is a very rare occurrence for one of the fastest players in all the NFL.
3rd and 6. Steelers send 5 receivers out, and the pass is caught, snatched out of the air by Antonio Brown, a yard short of the 1st down at the 36-yard line.
Well, Ben had no chance whatsoever. They've got the hot read coming off of the fact that Ray Lewis and one of the safeties was coming after him. Had to throw it quickly, got it out there, and Ladarius Webb did his job making the tackle before the 1st down. And in a game like this, you punt in this situation.
Or at least you line up the punt, as did Baltimore. And Sepulveda with a kick that will be fair caught at the 8-yard line by Ed Reed. Ravens take over at that spot in a scoreless first quarter. That's a look at Pittsburgh, and on New Year's Day, hockey at Heinz Field. It's the Capitals and the Penguins. That means Alex Ovechkin and Sidney Crosby. The Winter Classic New Year's Day, Pittsburgh and Washington from Heinz Field right here on NBC. It's been a great series. Wrigley Field and Fenway Park. And out of Pittsburgh they go on New Year's Day on NBC. From the 8-yard line on first down, Willis McGahee picks up 2. Let's take a look at the Pittsburgh defense.
Ziggy Hood, Missouri.
Casey Hampton, Texas.
Brett Kiesel, Grable High School. Go Buffs.
Lamar Woodley, University of Michigan.
James Ferrier, Virginia.
Lawrence Timmons, Florida State.
James Harrison, Kent State.
Brian McFadden, Florida State.
Troy Polamalu, University of Southern California.
Ryan Clark, LSU.
IT Swagger University.
That Pittsburgh D, so good for so long. That run defense averaging 3 yards per carry against the season, and that's tremendous. Rice is the back on second down and 8, and Flacco is going to take a timeout.
Not in time, though.
He got the timeout. Prior to calling the timeout, delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, second down.
John Harbaugh came here in 08. A surprising choice. He's been the special teams coach for the most part under Andy Reid at Philadelphia for a lot of years. And what a job he has done. And, of course, his brother Jim is the head coach at Stanford. And he'll be a guy whose name will be tossed about at the end of the season as a prospective NFL head coaching candidate next year.
I think ranked number 4 in the country right now at Stanford. That's pretty impressive.
Second and 13 from the 5-yard line, and trying to give him a little bit more breathing room is Rice. Third down. What's the story with Todd Heap hurt on the first play of the game? Andrea, what do you know?
Well, Al, he hurt his right hamstring. He went to the locker room. They tried to tape it up, but he is ruled out. And it's unfortunate because he's having one of his best seasons because he had remained healthy.
All right, Andrea, that means with Heap out, the other 2 tight ends are both rookies. Ed Dixon out of Oregon, 3rd-round pick. Dennis Pitta out of BYU, a 4th-round pick.
And you also mentioned that fullback LaRon McClain out, so a lot of the power of this football team no longer there. You wonder if they might flirt a little bit with the spread offense now.
3rd down and 12. And again, you got a whistle before the snap here, and a false start.
False start, offense number 74. Half the distance to the goal. 3rd down.
That's Michael Orr, who was limited in practice this week, sprained his knee in the Tampa Bay game last week and had to come out in the second half.
And when you watch Michael Orr on tape, he has one of the fastest get-offs of the ball. And apparently the officials here thought it was a little too quick, and James Harrison did as well, as he gives the officials probably his only applause for the officials this entire year.
3rd down and 15. This game to this point played in the Baltimore end. There goes Polamalu, who tries to get through and couldn't, and the pass is lofted to Anquan Boldin. And the former Arizona Cardinal takes it all the way to the 35-yard line. Live by the sword, die by the sword. Send your safety in. He can't get there, and that opens up the middle.
Well, Anquan Boldin coming across in motion. And the Steelers tried to bring a little pressure, which meant that Ryan Clark, who is not very fast, ends up with the newest acquisition, Anquan Boldin. And those are the big plays that decide these kinds of games.
61 yards from the shadow of their own end zone, and now Willis McGahee. It was 61 on a 3rd down and 15 from the 3.
Watch Ray Rice right there in the middle of your screen pick up Troy Polamalu, which gave Joe Flacco just enough time to get that one off. Not many people, not many backs can make that block as well as Ray Rice can. He has been huge. He has been a Steeler beater over the years.
2nd down and 6. Roethlisberger with the bloody nose and the bloody uniform. Play fake. Flacco excels at that. Throws, screen, set up, caught. And this is the tight end, Dixon, who takes the ball close to the 25-yard line. And that will move the chains.
Well, one of the things that Pittsburgh knows is that these backs are going to have to chip along with the tight ends. So Baltimore's answer to that is we'll just run some screens off of it. That time it was Dixon just in there blocking, and all of a sudden Flacco with 3 blockers in front flips it out there. But those are the, you go big shot down the field, you go screen, but you have to keep the protection going against the Steelers.
Under 5 minutes to play. No score. Opening quarter. Quick toss to T.J. Houshmandzadeh, former Bengal and Seahawk, for a gain of a couple. It was Houshmandzadeh who caught the pass from Flacco at the end of the game with 32 seconds left in Pittsburgh on October 3rd that gave Baltimore the win.
And it was Brian McFadden who was covering him who gave it up. You're going to see the old Pittsburgh cross blitz. Sometimes when you're watching these two teams play, I know it's easy to follow the football, but if you can watch what they're doing on the defensive side a little bit as well, it is about as interesting as the NFL gets, watching the Steelers and Ravens on the defensive side.
Pittsburgh's defensive coordinator, the Hall of Famer, Dick LeBeau. Pressure on Flacco, but he gets it away, and then it's tipped and it's incomplete. Off the hand of Rice, and another penalty, and this one will go against Baltimore for a hold. Dixon may have gotten Woodley.
Yep.
Holding, offense number 83. 10-yard penalty, second down.
Indeed.
Well, they asked Ed Dixon to come in motion and block Lamar Woodley coming off the outside. You're a rookie. This is not a great assignment, but you've got a screen pass. You can't hold on a screen pass. You know, I mean, the whole point is let the rush come in there a little bit, and now you're backed up. And remember, this is a tough, windy night. Don't think you're going to see a bunch of 50-yard field goals in this one.
Temperature near the freezing mark. Ball to the 33-yard line. It'll be second down and 18. Flacco out of the shotgun. Three-man rush. Joe buys time. Looking and then throws, and the pass is caught. Hauled in at the 26-yard line by Houshmandzadeh. Gain of 7. It'll be 3rd and 11.
Watch Lamar Woodley right here. This is what you're dealing with. And you've got Chris Chester, just a big professional guard, and he just gets mauled. Joe Flacco just stayed with this as long as he could. And that is some catch on the tail end. That's a veteran pro receiver, and they certainly have guys now that know how to make tough catches in tough situations. That's why they got Anquan Boldin and why they feel like they were lucky to get T.J. Houshmandzadeh.
Did he get both down with possession? No challenge from Tomlin. 3rd and 10 from the 25. Flacco slings it to the outside, and it is caught there by Ed Dixon, close to the first down marker. Dixon working against Timmons that time.
Well, here's the rookie coming back and really doing what he does better. Ed Dixon is a much better receiver than he is blocker. That's a big play there. And then Michael Orr on the outside doing the best job that he has and trying to stay with Brett Kiesel, trying to stay with James Harrison with that banged up knee.
Picked up enough for a first down, so they've converted 2 3rd and longs. The ball is at the 14-yard line. And this is McGahee to the 15-yard line. This drive started back at the 8-yard line, and then they, because of a penalty, were pushed back to the 3, and there was that big pass to Boldin to set him up, and now they're trying to drive it in.
Well, I tell you, Casey Hampton right here. Poor Chris Chester's having his hands full tonight. Casey Hampton just walking him backwards as well. That was about as good a half-yard run as I've seen in a while. Willis McGahee had to dodge 3 guys to get a half-yard.
10th play of the drive. It is second down and 10. And that hard play fake that Flacco excels at a lot of time. And then Flacco throws, and wide open for the touchdown is Anquan Boldin. Touchdown, Baltimore.
So many times, if a receiver can get to the back of the end zone behind the defenders, go one way and then come back the other way, the defenders lose them. They watch the quarterback. That time they were watching Joe Flacco, and Anquan Boldin made this look easy. Watch him. There we go as they turn around and watch the quarterback. I'm going the other way. Thank you very much. Easy touchdown for a veteran player.
7th touchdown reception this season for Boldin, who came over from the Cardinals, and now you have a fight breaking out before the snap. It's the Ravens and the Steelers sooner or later. So it starts on an extra point. Macaulay's crew has been very busy in this first quarter tonight.
False start. Offense number 65. 5-yard penalty. Try from the 7-yard line.
Chris Chester, that's more action than I've ever seen on a false start.
And an extra point.
Right.
There we go, right. You're going to take James Harrison. James Harrison's had just about enough of everything here lately. But look what he did. He backed right out of it. He's seen enough of those envelopes from the league.
$125,000 worth. Now the extra point from 5 yards back by Cundiff is good. Billy Cundiff tacks on point number 7. It's Baltimore 7 and Pittsburgh nothing with a little less than 2 minutes remaining in the opening quarter. Log on, if you will, to NBCSports.com/SNF Extra. That's what it will look like. A lot of good stuff there. Look at the left-hand column. There are the stats, and those are the real stats. As of the moment, 106 yards for Baltimore to 19 for Pittsburgh. That 92-yard drive with the 2 key plays, the third down conversions. One to Bolden, and then Bolden winds up with the ensuing touchdown. Cundiff, with a lot of touchbacks this season, has another one. More than half his kickoffs have resulted in touchbacks. Roethlisberger takes over at his own 20. 7-0 Ravens. These defenses since 2000. Points per game ranked 1 and 2nd allowed. Yards per game allowed 1 and 2. Takeaways. The Ravens are number 1. Sacks. Pittsburgh number 1. So through the decade, these two teams excelling on that side of the ball. And you just watched Baltimore go 92 yards against that Pittsburgh defense, and that's the longest drive given up by the Steelers this season.
Yeah, and Dick LeBeau over talking to Bryant McFadden. It was McFadden who dropped the coverage that cost the Steelers the touchdown.
First down and 10. Roethlisberger taking the conventional snap here. He's lined up in regular shotgun and in the half shotgun or pistol tonight. And he hands the ball off to Mendenhall. And Mendenhall will pick up 7 yards out to the 27-yard line.
Well, Ben Roethlisberger under center obviously has to put a lot more pressure on that foot. But he really is starting to move around a little bit better than what he did early on. You can only imagine what it's like to go out there with a bad foot. But the best thing that could happen to Ben Roethlisberger, a couple more 7-yard runs out of Rashard Mendenhall.
Bad foot, bloodied nose. 2nd and a deuce. Mendenhall tackled to the line of scrimmage. You know, Chris, with Ben, a lot of people say, oh, he's a drama queen and all of the rest. But you know what? He is one tough dude.
Well, he doesn't look like a homecoming queen tonight. He's got blood everywhere. And I'll tell you, this Haloti Ngata is the guy that is probably their biggest nightmare on the, here we go, right outside here. And the Baltimore Ravens are putting him over on the Steelers' offensive right-hand side because they know that's the way they like to run.
Now Mewelde Moore, the third down back, is in. 3rd down and 2. That's Sanders coming in motion. You've got 3 receivers on the left side. Roethlisberger looking that way and dumps it off for Moore as Ben hits the ground, and Moore tries to fight his way to the first down line and is either right on it or just short of it. The line judge coming in to mark it. If the nose of the ball is on the 30-yard line, it is a first down. Terrell Suggs, meanwhile, planted Roethlisberger. Wallace signals to the bench it'll be a first down. Nose of the ball touches the stripe. It is a first down, and it is.
Terrell Suggs is overwhelming Jonathan Scott at the left tackle position.
End of the first quarter, Baltimore 7, Pittsburgh nothing. And Sunday Night Football continues after these messages. For this game, looking at Baltimore, Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Andrea Kramer on this 34-degree Sunday night at M&T Bank Stadium. And as we start the second quarter, you've got Terry McAuley.
Baltimore has challenged the spot on the last play.
Well, they had the whole intermission between the first and second quarters to decide they're going to challenge the first down spot. First quarter ended with a first down, so signaled. Here comes the call.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Baltimore is charged with their first team timeout.
Well, the runner is stopped. Take a look again, and there's nothing that we saw in all of the replays we were watching during the break here that would allow the crew to overturn it. He's still moving. The ball gets obscured. The nose of the ball just had to reach the front edge of the 30-yard line because that series had started after the touchback, and there's nothing there to indicate that the ball didn't get there. Line judge came in, makes the call stands, first down to the 30.
It's a heck of a play by Heath Miller, too. If he doesn't push more forward, he doesn't make it.
Now the pistol formation again. Roethlisberger's used it about a half dozen times tonight, and Mendenhall gets taken down immediately, and that's DeJuan Landry, who sustained a concussion last week in the Tampa game, and they had to keep an eye on him, and he had to pass the test this week to enable him to play tonight.
Well, you can tell the Pittsburgh Steelers and offensive coordinator Bruce Arians, they're just trying to get a few plays to get the ball out of Ben Roethlisberger's hands, because right now this offensive line of the Steelers has been no match across the board for the Ravens defensive line.
Second down and 10. And Ben will go down. Tried to get it away at the last instant, couldn't, and that is Suggs coming in for the sack.
Good patience by Terrell Suggs on that one. He's going to loop back inside here, but he just sort of danced in front of Jonathan Scott, biding his time, and then came up with a huge sack. Right now, Terrell Suggs, who has more sacks of Roethlisberger than anybody, is making his presence known. And down the field, the reason that Ben had to hold it was that.
AFC Defensive Player of the Month in November gets off to a good start in December. Here's Redmond back in the game. He was hurt on the first series, and they give it to him, and Redmond gets out past the 30 to the 32-yard line. Started to break away, and then Ed Reed comes up to stop him well shy of the first down.
You know, anytime you see a Steelers run, usually Hines Ward has something to do with it. They bring Hines Ward down so many times, and he makes those key blocks in there, and I just don't think that they are expecting to see Isaac Redmond run the football out of any formation.
Darius Webb is back to receive the Daniel Sepulveda kick. Webb from the 15-yard line. Gets around the corner. Webb out past the 40 and gets banged down up at the 49-yard line by Arnez Battle. Good run back. Ravens will have it at midfield 2 minutes into the second quarter. 7-0 Baltimore. Has been the scene of all of the action, and it concludes tonight with the Steelers and the Ravens. First down from the 49-yard line as Flacco guns one incomplete, and the crowd wants a flag, and so does Derek Mason. He's covered by Brian McFadden.
Well, so far, it's been Joe Flacco looking more like Ben Roethlisberger than Ben Roethlisberger. Watch him just buying time and giving Anquan Bolden time to find an opening, and it was Brian McFadden who had man under coverage. He should be looking at Bolden the entire time, no matter what. He flips his head to look back at Flacco. Bolden uncovers. Easy touchdown.
Ravens' last drive, longest TG drive against the Steelers in the history of this franchise, and the pass is incomplete, intended for Dennis Pitta. Pitta, one of the two tight ends we talked about heaping out of the game after one play. Pitta, a rookie, and Ed Dickson, the other.
Yeah, and the reason they drafted these two rookies this year was because of the 34 defense that they had to face in the Pittsburgh Steelers. They knew they had to sort of extend out those blocking schemes.
There is Daniel Sepulveda, the left-footed kicker, and they're checking his right leg. He had that 53-yard boot, but a 35-yard return to set Baltimore up here at the 49-yard line. Third and 10, and here they come. But Flacco stays in there, and the pass is caught, but about 3 yards short of the first down. Derek Mason, who caught 8 balls last week and was targeted 13 times, is stopped. It'll be 4th down and 3.
Nice job by Ray Rice. Is going to pick up Timmons off the edge here. I'll tell you, when you play Pittsburgh, the most important part of a running back's job is figuring out who's blitzing first and then getting them blocked second.
And there's Mason. So they're already minus heat for the rest of the game. And there is Derek Mason, who's done such yeoman work. 14 years in the league. Started his career with the Tennessee Titans, played in the Super Bowl with them against St. Louis after the '99 season, and he's been a stalwart here in Baltimore.
And I tell you, Mike Tomlin, when he was talking about the receivers of the Baltimore Ravens, he wasn't concerned about anybody as much as he was Derek Mason.
And McFadden gets him, and then over the top goes Harrison. And so now Mason comes limping back to the sideline. Then it will be 4th down and 3. Sam Cook to do the punting. Cook's third punt is bouncing at the 5-yard line, and then it bounces into the end zone. That's Marcus Smith, who had a chance to down it but couldn't. Out it comes to the 20 when we come back. Long.
That's because he's good. He's funny on that
great.
show.
Tonight show with Jay Leno all week on NBC. From the 20, 1st down. Steelers. Ben, clean pocket, and rifles the pass, and that is caught, and bowling balling in his way out to the 45-yard line is David Johnson, who is 6'2" and 260, drafted in the 7th round last year. Can play a lot of spots in the offensive sets. 25 yards.
Without question, the best protection of the night for the Pittsburgh Steelers. 5 rushers, 5 offensive linemen, all of them blocked, and if you get that done, you come up with big plays.
And so much for that bad foot and the bloody nose as he guns one over the middle for a gain of 25. And now he hands the ball off to Mendenhall, and Mendenhall goes absolutely nowhere, and there is Ray Lewis making his presence felt for the first time tonight. Ray Lewis, 15th season, one of the original Ravens, the team starting here in '96, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year. 30 or more sacks or interceptions, one of 2 players since 1982. And the Ravens have allowed under 4 yards per rush in every season since they came here and began the franchise as the Baltimore Ravens after moving from Cleveland following the '95 campaign. 2nd and 10. And that pass is caught, and it's close to a 1st down for Antonio Brown. And that other player we should mention who fits into that category with the 30 sacks and interceptions would be, of course, our own Rodney Harrison back in the studio.
Not bad at all. But I tell you, the thing that impresses me so much about Ray Lewis is he's about what's good for the team. He tells Joe Flacco, do what you do. Don't worry about turning the football over. So far this season, the Ravens defense has not allowed a touchdown off a turnover. It's an amazing statistic.
From the 45, indeed, as the play fake to Mendenhall, and then Ben is going to roll, and Ben is going to throw this one away. And that is incredible when you think about it. Normally, because turnovers are such killers, but that Raven defense, every time this season that the offense has turned it over, they've at least limited the opposition to a field goal at worst.
Yeah, and because you got guys like Terrell Suggs who can do this. I mean, Flozell is just, there's no way that physically he can keep up with the speed of Terrell Suggs. Terrell Suggs on both sides now completely wearing out these Pittsburgh Steelers tackles.
10 minutes to the half, 7-0 Ravens. 2nd and 10. 4 receivers on the right side. The pump fake by Roethlisberger. Going deep, and it's going to get picked off at the 5-yard line. Intercepted by Josh Wilson. acquired just before the season from Seattle. Intended for Antonio Brown. Forward progress takes him into the end zone, but they're going to spot the ball at the 2-yard line. Interception by Josh Wilson. It was a 2nd down and 10. They picked him up in a trade. They'd lost Dominique Foxworth, one of their starting corners, and then Wilson came over from Seattle at the outset of the season.
And that was a huge trade. Fabian Washington did not work out either. And Josh Wilson's been getting the job done.
The 2-yard line, and this is Flacco trying to buy some space here, and he gets 2 yards out to the 4.
Well, Antonio Brown is going to do the job here on the release, but he also is going to fool Dwan Landry. A little out, up, but Josh Wilson never breaks stride. He just stays right with that throw, and the pump fake didn't affect him at all, and he comes up with just a huge play for this defense. But if the Pittsburgh Steelers can convert on the defensive end and pin them down inside the 10, that play wouldn't be such a huge negative for the Steelers.
And despite the momentum of Wilson, you might be wondering, his momentum was taking him into the end zone. He wasn't trying to run it back. He's like a receiver at that point. It's where he has possession of the ball. Willis McGahee comes out to the 6-yard line. In the commercial break, and Harbaugh was talking to the officials about, hey, you know, his momentum took him into the end zone, but that doesn't matter in that particular case.
That's exactly right. My man James Harrison's starting to get a little fired up here now. You're going to bring over a rookie tight end and 2 of them and try and play me? Good luck. Holding and everything doesn't matter. Look how low James Harrison gets and just explodes into Dixon.
3rd down and 6. Dante Stallworth is in the game for the Ravens. And there's a deep pass for Stallworth. And Stallworth across the 50. Inside the 40 and finally taken down at the 27-yard line. Stallworth suspended all of last year, broken foot earlier this season, comes into the game and immediately with a huge play, 67 yards.
Ryan McFadden's having a bad game tonight. Watch him right out here. He's going to try and make a play on the slot receiver. He comes off his guy and leaves the fastest guy on the Ravens team completely alone. Great read by Joe Flacco. Bryant McFadden gave up the game-winning touchdown the first time these 2 teams met, and so far tonight he's been terrible.
2nd charge timeout, Baltimore, 32nd timeout.
And one reason you see Stallworth in the game is because Mason had gotten hurt. So Stallworth involved in that accident in Florida where a man was killed. And he was suspended all of last season. Ravens upgrading their receiver core this year. Went out and they got Bolden, signed Stallworth. And, of course, they drafted the 2 rookie tight ends, and they picked up Houshmandzadeh as well. And there is Dan Rooney, the U.S. ambassador to Ireland. So Dan has come over from time to time during the past 2 seasons. And, of course, when they meet the Ravens, he wants to be here. But so far, it's been tough. 7-0 Baltimore on top. And Art Rooney II, Pittsburgh Brain Trust, looking on right now, but the Ravens with 184 total yards to 67 for Pittsburgh and driving again. Houshmandzadeh gets tackled by McFadden after a minimal gain.
Well, they're definitely going after Brian McFadden, who came into this game with a bad hamstring, so it's understandable. But those are big tackles on the outside. The Steelers brought both inside linebackers, so if McFadden doesn't make that tackle, there's going to be plenty of space to work out there. He did make a nice play there.
So far, comparison, 179 yards. Flacco with big plays to Bolden and Stallworth. And a touchdown pass to Bolden. 2nd and 9. And a whistle before the snap.
False start. Offense number 74. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Michael Orr, that's already 7 penalties. Michael Orr last week sprained his knee. tweeted during the game, and that cost him $5,000.
I tell you, when I was watching the tape, I was really trying to slow it down to see if Michael Orr was jumping off sides during the course of the week. But Michael Orr with that bad knee, you can tell he's trying to cheat it a little bit, and these officials are calling it really tightly, but I think accurately.
Well, Ocho Cinco got fined $25,000, or only $5 grand. Once up on WikiLeaks, it's $10 grand.
But he made a movie.
2nd and 14. Wow. And Rice can't get out of the backfield because James Harrison is there. Mike Tomlin last night talking about Harrison and saying, you know what, because he's been the man in the crosshairs with all of the fines this year, it'll probably cost him Defensive Player of the Year.
Dante Stallworth, the wide receiver, had the job of trying to crack him along with Anquan Bolden. Instead, James Harrison cracked both of them and Ray Rice.
Anyway, that was Tomlin's opinion of the season Harrison is having. He says all of the stuff is getting overlooked.
Well, the player of the month, I could make a pretty strong case it should have been Harrison.
3rd and 15, and here come the Steelers. Ike Taylor on the corner blitz getting in there.
Well, the problem is if you back up as a quarterback, you're going to get pressure off the edge, and if you back up, you're going to get it. Ray Rice here is really doing a good job. He's going to push, there's that Lawrence Timmons, I'm sorry, around the pocket, but when Flacco decided to back up to try and escape, basically he made it easy on Timmons.
Sam Cook punting. And you got Antoine Randall L right now back at his own 10-yard line. High floater toward the sideline. Randall L with the catch at the 15-yard line. 5.5 to go in the half. 7-0 Baltimore.
That's why they're playing like this. These two teams just getting after it right now. And Al, I have to say that so far it looks like the Steelers' offensive line getting a bit exposed. There were question marks across the board. Physically, could they hold up without Ben being able to scramble and make plays? And so far tonight, the answer is no. Almost 70 yards of offense is all it is for the Pittsburgh Steelers so far.
67 precisely on 20 plays. And Mendenhall will pick up 3 out to the 23.
Well, they tell us Ben's nose isn't broken, but most noses that are, they don't do like that. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, you know. I'm just saying.
We just play one, right?
Yeah.
The blood on his jersey. As we talked to John Harbaugh earlier this week. He said, "Hey, I'm not a doctor, but I just play one every week in the press conference."
Ben might need 2 next week.
2nd and 7. And that pass is a little underthrown, but Wallace comes back, and he's able to make the catch for a first down at the 35-yard line.
Well, okay, Josh Wilson, you're going to try and attack? Go ahead. We're going to running our fastest guy up here at you. Josh Wilson said, I'm not stupid. That guy runs 4.28. I'm getting out of here. You can make that completion. Go on with it.
Wallace's first catch. Hines Ward has not caught a ball tonight. Ward wide to the right. Wallace in the slot. And a Ward comes into the slot inside Wallace on 1st and 10. And Ben scrambles away and then throws it away. 2nd down.
You know, the Baltimore Ravens defensively in their secondary, they've just been all over these receivers down the field. Ladarius Webb on the other side against the speedy Wallace. And then Hines Ward working inside, going against Chris Carr, and he's covered. Ordinarily, when Ben makes one guy escape or one guy miss, he comes up with those big plays down the field, but there was nowhere to go.
2nd and 10. And Ben throws, and that will be caught, and that's going to be a first down, and that is the rookie out of SMU, Emmanuel Sanders.
And not the creative plays we're used to seeing out of that mobility.
And as you said, too, the offensive line needs to be better. Here's Mendenhall breaking through, and Mendenhall across the 50 to the 46-yard line, tackled by Landry.
And this is what I think that the Pittsburgh Steelers need to get back to here, because this is a football team in Baltimore. They are not producing the same way against the run that they do typically. There's Antoine Randall working down the field. But runs have been had against this Ravens defense this year, but they really have not focused on it very much to this point in the game.
2nd and 2. And that pass is incomplete. Mendenhall stopped, tried to dump it off to him. Suggs was right there anyway. It'll be 3rd down and 2.
Yeah, in the league, this is called a business decision. When you come out and you're looking at Terrell Suggs and it's a little out in front of you, my agent said don't go for that one. Yeah.
Classic. I hear footsteps.
And they're big. Terrell Suggs got a little bloody lip too.
And looming. 3rd down and 2, and then
first charge timeout.
They will take a timeout.
30-second timeout.
3rd down and 2. Pittsburgh taking a timeout. What's going to be interesting too here is if they don't get the 1st down and have to punt. We saw Sepulveda, and they were working on his right leg, the plant leg, before. Can he punt is the question. There he is hobbling on the sideline. Sean Sweezum, the field goal kicker, had been practicing punts on the sideline.
And the Ravens defense has not been very good in short yardage this year.
3rd and a short 2. And this is Redmond, and he's going to lose the ball. Can Mendenhall recover for Pittsburgh is the question. He was right there. Redmond losing the football. And they had Mendenhall in the lineup with him as well on 3rd down, and he is able to save possession for Pittsburgh, and that's going to probably take us to the 2-minute warning.
What a play by Jarrett Johnson on that one. Whew.
So 4th and 2 when we come back in the battle for first in the AFC North with Baltimore up 7-0. Steelers with 2 minutes to go in the half will line up to go for it at the 44-yard line. 4th down and 2. It was Marquise Pouncey, the rookie center, who actually recovered that last fumble. There's Sepulveda, and they taped him up, we're told, from his groin down to his calf. So the chances of him playing the rest of the night are minimal. And they go for it on 4th and 2, and the pass is caught, and they're going to pick up the 1st down as the catch is made by David Johnson, his 2nd reception. That moves the chains. 1st down at the 39-yard line.
Boy, a lot of action being created by the backside receivers allowed David Johnson to come across the formation there. Probably won't be officially called a pick, but that's exactly what it was. His backside receivers picked off everybody in coverage. Big 1st down.
Steelers with 2 timeouts. And Roethlisberger to the right side, and incomplete as the pass is thrown Emmanuel Sanders' way. He got behind the initial coverage and then been throwing it out of bounds. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
It was really a good job by Ben Roethlisberger. They tried one of those out and up kind of moves on the outside. Unfortunately, he had the wrong safety coverage, so the safety hanging right there would have intercepted that ball. Ben saw it, just threw it away.
Ward and Wallace go left. Moore is in the backfield. Sanders, the rookie, to the right side. 2nd and 10. And look at that time for Roethlisberger, and the pass is incomplete. It was Sanders going across the formation, deep down the field. Chris Carr covering on the play. 3rd down and 10.
Haloti Ngata now playing over Marquise Pouncey right here in the middle. They felt like Pouncey was a great athlete for a rookie. They didn't know how well he would hold up against Haloti Ngata. I'd say pretty darn well right there. That protection was as good as you could get.
And so Suggs started to come in, and then he backed off to go into coverage against the tight end Miller. 3rd down and 10. 6 defensive backs in for Baltimore. Again, a lot of time for Ben, and then the pass is dropped. So Ward, targeted for the first time tonight, can't collect it. 4th down.
Well, I tell you what a job they did in protection, and Hines Ward blew it. How many times have you ever seen that? There goes Hines right here. This protection is awesome. They brought all the heat off the left side. Isaac Redmond makes a great block, good adjustment. Right between the 8 and the 6, unbelievable.
And now Sweezum, who is their place kicker, has to come into punt because of the injury to Sepulveda. He punted 3 times as a Redskin last season, and the kick bounces at the 6. There's a flag on the play, and the ball is down at the 2-yard line. But the penalty is going to be against Pittsburgh.
Holding prior to the kick. Offense, number 97. 10-yard penalty, 4th down.
Holding call against Jason Worlds, and Sweezum to have to kick again. So against Sepulveda with that right leg tape. Sweezum signed 3 weeks ago. Ladarius Webb is back this time to return the kick, and Webb collects it and then drops it at the 11-yard line and gets taken to the ground at the 15-yard line. So Baltimore with 46 seconds, and they have 1 timeout.
Is it the
Sweezum sitting on his couch 3 weeks ago, and all of a sudden he's the field goal kicker, the punter.
And a lot of purple coming after him. You know, Sepulveda, this is not the first issue he's had with his non-kicking leg. It happened to him in college. He's had 2 different issues with that knee, and so now they are in a bit of a spot in a game that has a lot of punting as part of it. Been a really good first half, though. I hope people can appreciate how good this defense has been, really, on both sides of the ball. That helmet all scarred up.
From the 15-yard line on 1st down, and they'll be content to go into the locker room with a 7-point advantage, was Willis McGahee picks up a hard yard.
And the really good news for the Pittsburgh Steelers is that Brett Kiesel has survived the half. I talked to him a little bit before the game, and he just didn't know. He said, I don't know what's going to happen out here. The last time I tried to push it, I pulled my hamstring again a little bit, but he has survived, and I think he's been in on every snap, and they really feel like he could be a difference maker for him.
Missing Kiesel, of course. Aaron Smith's been out since early in the year, and put him on IR. Hope to have him back before the end of the season. And that will take us to halftime with a Flacco kneel down. End of the first half in Baltimore, where the Ravens lead the Steelers 7-0. Coming up next, the Toyota halftime show. But first, these messages from your local NBC station.